Hey guys, welcome back to another market update with the Patti Martin Real Estate Group. Today is April 2nd. We're going to be reviewing the entire month of March. But first, how you guys doing?
Doing great, thanks.
Pretty good. How about you?
And I'm good. Are we excited to talk about this month?
Definitely.
So before we get into it, the first thing that comes up on the real estate board's memo here is that March was the lowest in sales going back to 2019. Are we feeling that in the market today?
For sure.
Absolutely. I think
So
it's been we haven't had listings stay on the market this long in a long time, regardless of their condition, regardless of how well priced they are. Definitely we notice something going on in the market.
So these are the numbers that have come out. In March 2025, there was just under 2,100 sales for the month. It's 13% decrease from March 2024, nearly 37% below the 10-year average. Now, when you're looking at all the stats, month over month, we're actually up 14%, and it's the third consecutive increase in sales. So my question to you guys is...
but you're comparing it to December and January.
Yeah,
it's still an increase in sales.
You're comparing it to the weakest months of real estate sales. So I don't think it's fair to say month over month we're up, because we know that every year statistically, Adam, there's not one year where it's not month over month increases in these January, February, March.
I'm going to put a graph up and you guys are going to eat your words. Okay.
I think that we normally see month over month increases in sales. It's just natural as buyers, come onto the market, they think about spring, but there's a bigger story here, and it's about inventory.
Yeah, totally. And we'll get into that. I'm just letting you know that when you look at sales from December, January, February, March, the graph does go up. But sales overall, they're down. There's no question about it. So here's my question to you guys.
Okay.
Given that sales are 37% below the 10-year average, does this suggest a long-term demand shift or just a temporary slowdown?
Oh, it's hard to say.
The data doesn't tell us those types of things. This is what I'll say is a data point, and we have not seen this level of sales and this level of inventory. This is the beginning. And I don't know what it's the beginning of, but it is the most we have seen statistically that there is this discrepancy between inventory and sales. And so, next month will probably tell the tale. Did buyers come off the fence, and did they gobble up this inventory, or did that inventory sit? And that's where I think next month's podcast is going to be the real, because this is right now just a data point. We know that sales, come up a little bit at the beginning of the year, but did we think this much inventory, especially in the attached market, was going to come on? I don't know if we predicted that sellers were ready to sell to this extent.
No, I think we have been saying this. I certainly have been saying it at my listing appointments. So I think we've been talking about this. This was inevitable. At some point, the market was going to shift. It's just when. And because we have interest rates that are decent but not so great, we have so much instability. We have a Canadian election right now, a federal election. People are a little discombobulated, so they're going to sit on the fence, and inventory, which normally comes in March, April, is going to start to build up. And we could see that. This is not that unusual.
Do you guys think there's any leading indicators that suggest that sales might pick up?
Oh, Adam, we always have some time in the year where it's busier. People get a little antsy. They want to make some kind of move, especially first-time buyers. They get tired of waiting, and so they enter the market eventually. So for sure, at some point during this year, we will, like any other year, have a couple of busy months. But
like a surge.
Yeah, but it's different right now for sure, because there's so much instability in the world, and people are distracted, worried.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we know it's not a factor of interest rates. We have another interest rate call coming up in about 10, 15 to whatever it is on the middle of the month. So we'll see what happens there. But you're absolutely right. With the political uncertainty, we tend to hold on a little bit. Moving forward, there were just under 6,500 newly listed properties for sale on the MLS. It is 29% increase year over year and a 27% increase month over month. And before we get into diving into what that actually means for the market, the total number of properties currently listed for sale is 14,500. So a 38% increase compared to March 2024 and a 14% increase month over month. So just to echo exactly what you guys were saying a moment ago, inventory's way up. Are we seeing buyers take advantage of this kind of, call it a surge in inventory?
I think for a buyer, it's a wonderful time to buy. They have a moment to reflect on properties, go back twice, take another look, show a family member, these types of things that, you know, we would have in a more balanced market that we don't normally have in a seller's market. Are they taking advantage? I do. I think so. I think that, you know, when we talk about parents recognizing this may be the right time for their children to get into the market, they might be thinking of a family gift instead of waiting for that inheritance piece. And then they're helping these kids get in. You know, the kids can see, I think these new buyers can see there is a bit of a blip. There is inventory, there's things to choose from. And if it makes sense for them job-wise, like if they have something that is stable, this is a really good time to take advantage. And yeah, I think we are in our business seeing this with some first-time home buyers.
You know, Jen, to your point, I think you took someone out on the weekend and you told me you were showing her 10 properties. I don't think you've told me that.
I haven't done that in years.
I know. It was probably 2019, actually.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So
yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. But now
So,
it's not common. It's commonplace for us to kind of be discerning about what we're selecting. We're maybe thinking, you know, we saw one in that building, maybe not. We won't go back. Didn't really care for it. Let's move on and see what else comes up. So absolutely, Patty. Yeah. It's changed. It's changed.
Yeah.
Buyer's market. We'll see if prices really come down or not. That'll be something to watch.
That'll be interesting to watch in the coming months. More onto your comment that buyers are going out. We're seeing more homes. There's the possibility of a second showing. Things aren't selling as fast. There's more listings coming. Are we at risk of an oversupplied market?
Oh, same as a buyer's market, in my opinion. That's what it is, isn't it? It's the same story. So yes, Of course that could happen.
You know, I'm not sure that I would ever characterize it, though, you guys, as an oversupplied market, because I think that we know we're in an affordability crisis in terms of a country, in terms of a province, and in terms of many of the municipalities that we work in. We know that people can't achieve home ownership because affordability is a thing. And I do think that some of these policies the government has put in, hey, they're not the favorite of the clients of ours that are investors or things like that, but they are increasing affordability because more inventory is on the market. And we know that the more that comes on, there is a downward pressure on price. So is this a buyer's market? Is it oversupplied? I don't know. There's a little chance it might be becoming more affordable. Maybe.
Yeah. And really back to, I think we discussed this last month. There's still, it's certainly in the detached. The attached has risen much quicker and to a much greater percentage than the detached. And when I look again at what is available, despite that there is more, it doesn't necessarily equate to attractive or properties that people want to buy right now.
Yeah. You know, the buyer tour that you mentioned, Patty, of those 10 properties, I was shocked that about half of them are vacant. And so it's actually leading me to believe that investors who formerly had things rented out, maybe they're not having a great experience of being a landlord. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing people that maybe had things tenanted and are saying, nope, it's time to sell.
Awesome discussion. So my next question for you guys is, how much of the current market slowdown is psychological? Like, are buyers waiting for that price drop? or is it actually an affordability concern that we were talking about?
I don't see a psychological, I'm going to hang on and the market's about to drop. We sometimes see that, but I don't see it right now. And I guess, Jen, you could speak to that more because you've got more buyers you're working with. But I have seen in the past where people are absolutely convinced that the market is falling and that they're going to wait it out. But that's not what we see. We've got a lot of real buyers right now who are genuinely looking for decent homes to buy. And so it's affordability is one, and then condition is another.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that we see an aging inventory of products, and I think that first-time home buyers don't necessarily have tons of money sitting in the bank for special levies and all sorts of things that stratas are seeing. When you're buying into a 20, 30, 40-year-old building, you're talking about elevator modernization. How are the roofs? How is the piping? There's so many things to consider. And so, are people sitting on the fence? No, I don't think so. I think that it is not psychological, that what they're seeing is kind of a real reality, and they are dealing with what the economy is kind of handing out, and they are making calculated decisions. And certainly we have a lot of buyers that we're working with, and each day our phone is ringing and we're hearing from people that want to get into the market.
So we're just waiting for the right type of property to come up. It sounds like what you guys are saying.
Exactly.
Okay. So with the buyers and hopefully new property types and the right kind of property comes up later in the year, do you think that from where we are now, we're just in this little lull and we're going to lead to more momentum later in the year?
It depends. It depends on a lot of things in the next few months.
Yeah. I hope that we. I hope that the end of 2025 leads to more stability, more predictability. I hope that I do hope for all of us that is the case, and not just real estate investors, but we're certainly in an unsettled kind of time. But of course, life goes on, and people have needs and transitions. And we often say this in our podcast: you have to work with a professional you trust, and let them help you make good decisions in any real estate market, whether it's an unstable market, whether it's a fast-paced market, whatever it is. The key is working with someone you trust and who's going to advise you in a way that helps you make those great decisions.
Yep.
Fantastic. As we wrap up, are there any last second comments, anything we want people to know before we sign off for this episode?
Yeah, well, I feel like it's okay. Like the sky's not falling. Like we live in a very safe country. I feel that, yes, we have some outside pressure that's causing us all a bit of consternation, but most of it's a lot of fluff and a lot of bravado that doesn't even translate into anything too terribly real. So yeah, the papers say we're going to have a slightly more difficult time in the next couple of years. I believe that's probably true, but we still live in the most beautiful country in the world. And I'm all in. Yeah, elbows up. Yes, elbows up.
Awesome, guys. You can watch this episode on YouTube. You can listen to it on Spotify. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Reach out. We're always available to chat. And we'll see you next month.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks,
Patti.
Adam. Thanks,
Bye,
Jen.
guys.
Bye.